hear me?
Yeah, you've never looked like more of an old man than when you were like looking at
Just
the screen, looking for the button, squinting your eyes with your spectacles on.
oh, let's
I
get
hate
those
to
off.
I hate to admit I think I need a pair.
Man, I'll tell you what. Once you think you need them, the collapse into not being able to live without them is fast and furious.
How how long have you had them?
Uh, Maybe a year, 2 years max.
Okay, so we're on the same phase. I'm 43 and I need them.
Yeah. And yeah, I remember like having perfect eyesight, no problem. Like, I would subtly brag about my vision from time to time. The people who subtly brag about their vision, I was one of those dudes.
I'm that dude.
Yeah, like the kind of, right? Yeah, I can read that.
It's my
But
identity.
yeah, but it goes, and so then like words were getting a little blurry, and I was like, why live this way? I'm just gonna go test my eyesight. And they're like, yeah, you're pretty good, but you could use some. Basically, they're readers, right? It's not like anything special. Uh, but got them. And then at first they made me a little dizzy to use, and so I was like, ooh, I'm not using these things. And then my eyes were like, screw you, man, and dove off a cliff. Now I cannot. I literally will go to a restaurant and just be the oldest man ever if I don't have my just holding the menu far away and all of it.
I was blaming the resolution on our television for a little bit.
Yep.
I was like, oh, this show filmed in low res, or like they just didn't like not everything's fully focused or something. The cameraman lost focus, you know? And then I'd look at the bookshelf and I'm like, hey, our bookshelf is also out of focus. That's weird. And now it's at the point where I'm just like, I ignored it for 2 months and now it's just it is what it is. Um, Lauren uses glasses. I don't know if she's nearsighted or farsighted. She uses glasses some of the time, and she
Yeah.
has for years. And the other day she goes, "Yeah, I think I want to get LASIX." And I was like, "Perfect. I can just avoid glasses altogether. We can get a 2 for 1 or a 4 for 2 eyes, and maybe I just go straight to LASIX."
LASIK has always freaked me out, probably more than anything else for some reason. Like I know that it's like it works. It's people aren't getting their eyeballs burned out of their sockets regularly, but it feels that way. It feels like you're gonna cut my eye open with a laser.
It's a very innate fear in humans to have something touch your eyes.
It's true. That's what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
And especially a laser.
Um, Welcome back to the grit. It's August 8th. I have two birthdays in my family on August 8th, 2025 today.
Happy birthday to the Scaleses.
Exactly. And it looks like the Tahiti comp is called on, by the way. They might
It,
be running the women.
I sure saw that and clicked live, Beach Grit
Okay.
live chat right before hopping on here.
So we'll get into Tahiti because we're coming off of the day of days yesterday, but we want to just follow up from last week. Surfing's core score went down to 54. So that's where we're starting this week at. We'll go through our news stories. We'll update the score at the end of the show. But let's just get into Chopu.
Let's go right in. I watched
Let's
more of Chopu than I think I have of another contest this year.
Me
Maybe.
too. It
Yeah.
was it was totally captivating. I had a workday scheduled. I kind of abandoned my workday and really was just captivated throughout the whole thing. Just completely heat after heat after heat, even slow heats.
Yeah, no. I mean, it was really the World Surf League, both, I guess, schedule and the swell that arrived at the same, everything came together for a perfect afternoon of viewing. Like there were storylines, there were obviously like epic rides, there were massive wipeouts, all of it.
Yeah, obviously the waves, having consequential waves makes it. I mean, honestly, heat one, Miguel Pupo went over ate it on 1 or 2 waves. My thought was, are we going to see somebody die today? And
Ooh.
if not, we're going to see somebody get very injured today. Within 30 minutes, Mike from Weekend Vans texted me and he goes, "Hey, are we going to see somebody die today?" I was like, dude, I was thinking the same thing. That engages a viewer.
I mean, I thought Connor O'Leary was Dunskies on his. Did you watch that one?
Yes.
Man, I mean, and all praise to the Lord that nobody was seriously injured. There was some rinsings that happened yesterday. I haven't seen that many like heavy wipeouts in a surf contest in I don't know how long.
I know. It's really, really remarkable that people don't get more hurt than they already do. or than they do.
Yeah, nobody
Um,
nobody even got really scraped, did they yesterday? I mean, there was busted
no
boards
injuries.
and hurt feelings, but there was no actual physical injury.
Exactly.
Amazing.
Um, Now there's a lot of things to discuss. I'm worried we're going to spend too much time on Felipe. We'll get to
Let's
that
just
in
get
one
we don't
second.
need we don't need to discuss. We can get Felipe out of the way real quick.
Well, I wanted to put this narrative to rest before the event. And coming
Yes,
into yesterday, I go, okay, this is going to either end up solidifying the narrative or he's going to charge, he's going to get crazy waves, and we'll have to all shut up. It didn't really make it crystal clear yesterday. He did just enough to keep the narrative going, you know?
that's the annoying part is that he doesn't round the circle, as they say. Like the door is still slightly ajar, which means you're forced into staring at it again.
S- Totally. So there's two ways to close the circle. It would either be cower on the shoulder, and we all just go, okay, here's the ninth piece of evidence that confirms the other eight. He's a coward, moving on. Or do what he did yesterday and then get on the mic and be like, yes, I'm terrified out there. That's why my performance was so poor. And then we also can move on from that. He did neither.
Exactly. No, and he charged just enough yesterday where you can't say like, oh, Felipe, like it was a real mixed bag. Like even I wrote the story on Beach Grit, how do you solve a problem like Toledo? And comments real back and forth with, leave him alone. He proved that he can go out there, right? He gave it a dig, et cetera, et cetera. Stop being a bully. Stop bullying Felipe Toledo. Uh, which I don't get that narrative at all. Like, if this is a sport, we have to be able to talk about the way people perform. I'm not saying Felipe
Of
Toledo's
course.
a poor father. I'm not saying Felipe Toledo, has awful taste in art. Like, this is about his performance at Chopu. And I don't know if we're not going to discuss that and if I'm going to get called a bully for highlighting it because it is. I mean, I found myself turning on yesterday, Heat one quickly. Basically the first thing I did was scroll and see when Felipe Toledo is going to come up, right?
Right.
Like it
Totally.
was, and so he is a draw, and he is a draw for me, and I think he's a draw for like reading the live comments as they were happening. Everybody kept alluding to Pip, right? Like this story is something, and you're exactly right. He doesn't. He did it. He did. He had a dig, like, but it didn't look. I mean, my critique. He did. He paddled on a big wave, right?
Mhm.
uh, and he hands free airdrop kind of. That all
Yes.
looked accidental. Like it looked like he was kind of scared, and that's what happened. It wasn't like a confident paddle and grab the rail like a, let's say, Mexican dude does. What's his name?
Al Cleland.
Yeah, Al Cleland Jr. Right? Like that is a confident, smooth, and I don't expect Felipe to do that, but to think that Felipe did what he did out of like abundance of bravery. It looked like he was, and just yeah. I mean, fine though, good. He had a dig.
So the accidental or not is kind of irrelevant to me. The only question all along has been, will he go? And
Yeah.
so in that scenario, he went. And yeah, uh, whatever happened after he went, whatever is not kind of relevant. The fact that he went was surprising to me on those two waves, but not enough to remove the asterisks, you know? So to your question on your Beach Grit article of how do you solve this problem, I'll tell you how. Evidence. Let's just go through the evidence. I came up with a list of in defense of him and a list of indictment of him based on yesterday's performance. And we can just go through it because I think that the comments in the comment section also reflected that. There's people saying, stop bullying him. He did go. And there's others saying, yeah, but here's all this other evidence. So let's just survey it real quickly. In defense of him, he caught two good sized waves and made two crazy drops.
Yes.
Didn't fully get barreled, but the judges thought the first one was significant enough to give him a 6.83. It's a decent score, right?
Yeah.
I would say further, when we've watched him in the past, he was cowering on the shoulder. So what we're seeing is he's moving incrementally further into the lineup. We saw it at the Tahiti or the Olympics. We've seen it at Pipeline. That same thing happened 2 or 3 years ago. He just gets like this little shouldery barrel. And then this past year, he, gets a backdoor 8 foot bomb kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So we're seeing these incremental improvements. And again, not Al Cleveland Jr. or anything like that, but these little incremental improvements. Okay. So now in indictment of him, he did not show up early this year.
Yeah.
Even the commentators said he showed up late. So in the days leading up to it, there were massive days verging on tow. They were towing, some people were paddling, and you saw the likes of Griffin Colapinto, Joao Chianca, and others who are on tour out there charging. So Filipe did not show up early.
And to like Griffin Colapinto kept saying they were asking him about the risk, right? The risk of paddling those days when you have a contest coming up. And Colapinto said, I thought about it and getting the potentially getting the wave of my life was better than showing up for the or better than being in the contest or worth risking injury, over. Where so Felipe doesn't have that. Like it's that missing part where he's not even going to go get the wave of his life out there.
Correct.
He will not paddle.
Now, I'll add to that in 1 second. Um, in his first round heat that he did get those 2 waves, he held priority for a long portion of time and he let Leo and Al Cleland have free reign of the lineup while he held priority. That is highly out of character for Felipe.
Uh, Derek Riley wrote in the comment section, uh, I think candy from a baby is akin to stealing waves under Felipe priority.
Totally.
Yeah.
So that's the thing is like, and that's what I was going to add on to you. Your comment is at every other event on tour, he does show up early.
Yeah.
So we can use this as evidence and to indict him and his lack of bravery. He's not doing what he normally does. This behavior at Chopu is totally out of character compared to all of his other performances, you know?
Yeah.
So that you can only point to one thing, and that's the size of the waves. Now, my last kind of bit is for whatever progress he made in that first heat, he completely undid in his elimination round heat against Rio Waida.
And to all of their credits or whatever, or the waves were garbage by that point, right? Not garbage, but it wasn't pumping like it was in the first round.
So let me reiterate, I should have started with this. He had a opportunity for a third world title. There is
Yeah.
a world title on the line. If this event was held in Huntington Beach, he would have been scrapping. He would have caught 100 waves at Huntington Beach, whether they were set waves or not. There were waves out there to catch. And yes, they went to garbage. He did not catch any waves.
That so I was thinking about this as well. Coming into this event, Felipe Toledo was number 6 in the world, a two-time world champion, sitting number 6. He might have been 7 or 8 somewhere. I mean, he was right in the on the cusp going in, right? I think it was 6 though.
Okay.
7.
I would guess
7.
7 if I had to bet, but I didn't
I
look.
I think it's 7. 7. In any case, though, commentators were all talking about, okay, this is it, right? Like in every Final Five before the last event, there's some reordering, right? It's usually 5 drops out. And they were talking about the people, the surfers sitting there who could replace, in this case, Ethan Ewing, right? And so we had Griffin Colapinto, we had Felipe Toledo, right? Yeah, Griffin was 5, or Griffin was 6, sorry. Felipe was 7, and I can't remember who was under him, but there was,
Kanoa might have been tied with somebody.
I don't know. In any case, the commenters were discussing all the people who might uh, bump Ewing out. They did not mention Filipe Toledo once, which is more damning than, because of course they're not going to say anything bad about him from the booth. But that to me, that silence was louder than any scream. They don't even consider him a remote possibility that Felipe
Yeah.
Toledo at 6 could hop into the top 5 at Chopu.
So this is the real storyline here is Felipe Toledo has an opportunity for a third world title and he elects not to take the opportunity.
Yeah.
That's how significant the fear is.
Yes. I mean,
That's
that's
kind of
it.
crazy.
Yeah, and that's it. And that's really all that needs to be said about it. And to your point, I exactly agree that he has taken incremental steps in getting better every year. And it seems like his comfort level may be increasing slightly the more he has to surf there. And so he just is. But I guess it just doesn't make any sense to me why go put more time in then. Like you have to do it already. You might as well go get like bump that learning curve up a whole notch, right? Go spend your off season at Chopu.
The thing is, he was always operating under a system that allowed him um, to not have to address this shortcoming
Yeah.
because the finals were at lowers. There was a lot of small waves on tour. Even the big wave spots wouldn't always be big once they ran the event. So now, as things have shifted under the new guidance of the management, there's more consequence. There's more emphasis put on the consequential waves, added points, all that sort of thing. So Felipe hasn't seen that writing on the wall for whatever reason, but he needs to recognize his opportunities to win a world title are gone if he doesn't address the weakness.
I mean, and I suppose at the very, very end, and I can stop talking about Felipe Toledo now for a long time, uh, is just self-delusion. That's the problem. Is I
That's
think
it.
he doesn't think he has a problem. He has Pappy in his ear telling him, "No, you're my strong boy. You can do it. You just haven't been given the opportunity, whatever, right?" Like, and so I think Felipe Toledo, that the problem, how do you solve a problem like Toledo is we all know from the wonderful 5-step programs is first you have to admit there's a problem. Felipe Toledo has never admitted there is a problem.
12 steps, I think.
Or 12, sorry. 5. I bumped down the learning curve on the on those two.
Yeah. Well, pretty interesting to watch, pretty sad, but glad to have some resolution after weighing the evidence.
Yep.
I felt the same kind of way about Kanoa. Kanoa is the kind of ultimate tactician on tour. I feel like he doesn't make a lot of mistakes, and he made woeful miscalculations yesterday. He's currently sitting in fourth, so same scenario where it's like, here's your shot. All you have to do is not buckle under the pressure because you're in a position. There's only people who have to come up against you or come up to take your spot. And he left, I mean, again, woeful miscalculations in that heat where he had a restart and didn't catch a wave forever.
Did he get eliminated?
He lost to the wild card Mia Montebre.
Yeah. Oh, did he not run his elimination heat?
That was the elimination heat.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So he's out.
He's out.
So he could fully,
And
yeah, yeah. But
what I'm saying is that heat, he could have caught waves. Like there was waves going in underneath him. They kind of outpositioned themselves. And Strider even was in the water and he kept saying, he's like, there's inside double ups that are going unridden. And it's not the same scenario as there's just no waves in the heat. There was opportunities. It was a miscalculation.
I saw that from a lot of surfers that yesterday that surprised me, right? Jordy had an interference. Um
I didn't
Kenzie?
see Jordy's interference.
Yeah,
Are
Jordy
you
had an
sure?
interference in Heat 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There was like Seth Moniz, I think it was, kept going on weird ones. Who was in the first heat of the day?
Miggy Poops. I'd have to give me a second and I could find it.
It was somebody who is a
Oh, Italo.
yeah, Idolo did great, but who else was in that first heat?
Opening heat was Italo, Seth Moniz, yeah, and Miggy Pupo.
Yeah, so Seth Moniz kept going on like weird closeout waves, right? And I think he pulled it together at the end, but he not enough to win, and he should have that heat should have been his, right? And they Joao just kept getting tossed around. I mean, how many bad wipeouts did Joao have?
A bunch.
Yeah, like people were, and I just think it was whether it's nerves, whether it's a ton on the line, whether it's, we're used to serving this place with a ton of people out and take all the people out, and where's my kind of marker now? Like it just felt like everyone, and maybe it is just the power, especially in the first round heat, the power of the ocean that day. It's just hard to know exactly what you're doing. The person who did look like he knew exactly what he was doing was Al Cleland, but even he got punished.
Well, incredible performance. And also worth noting, he's kind of brought personality back to the whitewashed WCT tour.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
but what's funny is people talk about that. He's got so much personality. We love that he speaks his mind or whatever. And it's like, all he does is enjoys beer and he curses. Like
Yeah.
the fact that is now qualifies as like he's a wild man is kind of crazy.
That is absolutely true. They kept like Joe and everybody from the booth. I love that guy. You never know what he's gonna say. Blah 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 blah. And it's like, well, he's not really saying anything that crazy, man. It's not like he's. Yeah, that's
I do know what
you're
he's
exactly right.
I do know what he's going to say. It's the F word, and it's
Yeah,
not that provocative. You know what I mean? Like, let's hear him say something about transgender or the abortion debate or something like that. That might be salacious. Him just saying the F word after he wins is like what the lowest level 1999 pro would do.
it's really really funny.
It's very funny. Um, but to be frank, I think that he broke down the door for Jordy a little bit because Jordy's starting to show some personality too. I heard Jordy drop an F bomb in his interview and he was like screaming in kind of elation.
Yeah, good on Jordy.
I know because Jordy provides that outside of the WSL. Certainly in Stab's interview series with him and stuff, he'll do that and on his own kind of platforms. But it's great to see him in the post heat interview letting loose a bit. And I think that's actually an indicator of his headspace and where and like that he's in a good position to actually go the distance here.
Well, and I would like to think too, maybe this is giving too much credit, but I would hope that with the new World Surf League regime, that there was a memo that went out to athletes that said, hey, we're not trying to keep you in this tiny little box. You guys be you. It's better for us, within, of course, don't go out and call Andrew Tate a G. But aside from that, uh, you guys, you be you and let your personalities out.
Along those, I wonder if in that missive it was you can start calling it chopu again
Yeah.
because they're calling
Yeah.
it chopu. Remember like when Eric Logan was in control, was in control, he would shame everybody and try to correct the
Tea
spelling.
hupo.
Yeah,
Yeah. Real
isn't
bad
that
news. Yeah. Everybody's just back to chopes, even.
thankfully.
Yeah. Whew.
No offense to the
Yeah.
indigenous peoples, but it's just a lot easier.
Yeah. It's hard for, I mean, exactly. I'll put the work in. I'll continue to say Tea hupo. Man, what didn't Eric Logan like lead some kind of phonetic speech or something? Like, didn't he gather everybody? We call it Tea hupo.
It's always like when you look at the Black Lives Matter protests and stuff, it is the white Karen social justice warrior who is somehow taking up the cause and at the same time grabbing the microphone from the black person,
Yep.
or in this case, Eric Logan from the Tahitian person,
Yep.
and then holding center court to make up for it. You know, there's like a narcissistic element there that doesn't get mentioned often enough.
Absolutely. Good thing that Eric Logan has found a new home in the beach volleyball community. And I apologize to all beach volleyball enthusiasts.
It was the greatest weekend of the year in Manhattan Beach, apparently. He's a big fan,
Yeah,
taking
big,
over.
big fan.
Um, so couple of thoughts or predictions, I guess. I think Italo only surfed once yesterday, but Italo to me looked so poised and comfortable for a win and can do in any variety of conditions. But then also Jordy Smith seemed to have let go in a certain way and unlocked a style of surfing that we only usually see from him in free surf edits.
Uh, are they running? Oh, they're running men's.
Well, no, they had one heat left of
Oh
the
yeah, yeah, yeah,
elimination
yeah.
round, and then they're
Wait,
going to
so
go to the
okay,
women.
Ethan got through. I didn't even really pay attention to the winners. So Ethan got through, so he's still
No,
alive.
is he?
Ethan, yeah, Ethan won his elimination heat against Seth.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah. He looked incredible, actually.
Yeah, so okay. So nothing's really changed in the final five yet.
Other than Kanoa's on the chopping block.
So yeah, Kanoa, I'm sorry. Kanoa is the only one on the chopping block though, so far.
I believe so. Yes,
Because if Ethan makes it if he makes it
that's
further than
correct. Yeah.
Griffin, he'll be in. I wonder what has to happen for Kanoa to drop out. Kanoa's probably pissed.
So Leonardo Fioravanti is looking also very good, and he's a guy who's mathematically in contention. Obviously, Jack Robinson is a shoe-in for a potential win, and then Griffin Colapinto, who again has spent a bunch of time out there, favored in a lot of different conditions, and he's right there. He's in sixth. So
I mean, that's the not to bring Filipe Toledo up again. Let's not talk about Filipe Toledo after this. But uh the floggings yesterday and the people coming up smiling from their floggings,
Yeah.
like everyone on that tour appears to, or at least puts on a good face, that they are loving it out there, even when they're getting wrecked.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think you just have to let go. Like you have to just, I mean, in much, much less intense situations, I've been nervous in a lineup and then you have a wipeout and you come up and you go, that wasn't that bad. And then
yeah,
you just kind of surf after that. Felipe needs to go through that. He doesn't put himself in the position to ever have that wipeout.
yeah.
So I think that was savvy on Griffin's part for surfing the big day prior, which was he had that wipeout already. So when he got in the competition, he could just go nuts.
And I mean, that's what they were saying too from the booth, which is he was surfing this, well bigger than it was yesterday. And yesterday was big. Just imagine that. Imagine paddling out after having surfed Chopu on borderline too big to paddle day and then being in more comfortable size. All of a sudden, that would feel good.
It's like when you see the baseball, like batters putting that weight on their
Yeah.
bat, taking a few practice swings with it. So, the other kind of notable thing, Hayuli Vost going leashless. Did you hear
Hmm.
that whole conversation?
I didn't hear the conversation. I heard at the very end. Why was that?
They interviewed him about it. I mean, like the commentators were questioning it, predict or trying to guess why, and then they interviewed him about it, and he said, "Your board, when you wipe out and your board's like tombstoning, pulling you, that 5 seconds of trying to get back to your board, there could be another wave bearing down on you that you need that 5 seconds. And so let the board go. Don't have any kind of thing pulling you, and you could just swim and get to safety a lot quicker."
I thought, I mean, smart, right? Like, what are you going to do, especially at a place like Chopu when you can get to a channel, you have a board caddy sitting there? Like, why surf it with a leash?
Well, the other thing is the way the water moves there is so predictable and uniform that the board always washes into the lagoon, and it takes about 3 minutes to get the board out of the lagoon and get back into the lineup. So yeah, you're right. You do have a board 30 seconds away that you can access, but even at worst, 3 minutes isn't that bad.
Yeah,
So it's not like going in, having to swim into the beach and that takes 5 minutes, and then you got to paddle back out and that takes 5 minutes. It's like, and the board will often get less damage once it goes in because the
yeah,
leash keeping it there in the impact zone is creating tension and problems. So let the board go in, you swim to safety, go back, get the board, you're fine.
smart,
I know,
smart boy.
I know. I liked that a lot. I'll also say that I think Stace Galbraith is a breath of fresh air.
Definitely. I mean, Stace is knowledgeable. I feel he doesn't overspeak. Like he's not filling space just nonstop. Yeah, he was definitely not offensive and
I
even pleasant.
I find his takes to be actually really fresh. You seem to, and it's probably because we've had the same commentators for so long. Like you know what Kaipo's going to say when a scenario happens. You know what Joe's going to say. Stace comes in with something that's like, oh my gosh, I kind of noticed that, but I didn't really think about it that much. He's also very tactful. Like I found that he does comment on Felipe's this question of bravery without vilifying Felipe in any way.
Yeah.
Like he said, that wave was kind of an incredible drop, and that might silence some of the online commentary about Felipe's performances or something like that. So
It's
he's
wild that
willing.
people think that that was enough to silence people, right? I mean, which I suppose that when you see the still picture, like which that I wonder if Felipe does that himself. Here's Felipe again, dang it. But you look at the picture and it's impressive as a photo, right?
Yeah,
I watched it real time and it was, yeah, it was fine, but it's not like what he airdropped into a cavern and came out behind the spit. He barely got barreled on that wave.
he barely got barreled. It was an impressive drop and then an impressive adjustment into the pocket, but it wasn't a proper barrel.
Yeah.
And one of the commentators that was probably on Beach Grit put it perfectly and said, I've got killer photos of myself in the barrel too. And thankfully, they're shot from the shoulder where nobody could see that I wasn't actually in the barrel.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for Felipe, we have the images from the straight on angle,
Yeah.
and you can see it wasn't even deep. But all right. Anything else on Chopu before we move on?
No, it was like you just realize how I'm grouchy about professional surfing often, but you realize how much fun it is when you when it's a limited number on a epic day.
Totally agree.
Like there was no fluff in any of those heats. It's not like, oh man, let's get through these five and then when's so and so coming up.
Well, look, I know a lot of people are attributing some of this success in the back half of the year to Ryan Crosby's involvement with the WSL. We've said it's because the poo poo touch has been sanitized, but really, I think it's that AG1's foundational nutrition has permeated the WSL's presence.
It can only do good. I have a funny story about AG1 here. Want to hear
But
my
have
funny story?
I do, but have you seen it? They're running commercials for AG1.
Of course, beautiful
Okay.
commercials.
Yes. Yeah.
Powerful, powerful. So the other day, this is a true story to all listeners who are not yet on the drinkag1.com/surf program. Uh, Getting up there in age, oldish man now, got glasses, whole 9 yards. Wife's always bugging me about you need to get on a program, right? It's you're not stop being bullheaded about this. Like it's silly just to be bullheaded. There's things you can take. There's this, that, and the other thing. And she goes through this long list of stuff. And she's been bugging me for a long time. Uh, and then finally I thought, okay, it's dumb to be so great. There is stuff that will help me. Why am I being so stupid about it? So I was like, what should I take? Tell me what I should take. And she started going through all this list. And then she said, wait, uh, I guess you're fine. You drink ag1.com/surf every morning. You don't need anything else.
Perfect.
Yeah, in all truth, because she started on the program. So she's been looking at what's in it, how it makes her
Good.
feel, all that stuff. And so, all to say that legit, I was like finally ready to capitulate on the vitamin thing. And I've been doing it all along, doing it for years now. Little did I know.
Okay, this is indicative of a much bigger picture thing for me, which is as spouses, you'll go toe to toe on these little minute things that you really want, but all you really want is them to capitulate. Once they
Yeah.
capitulate, you're like, I actually don't care at all. I don't know why
Yeah.
I was fighting this stupid little battle. If you would have just said yes initially, I probably would have let it go, you know?
I don't know why and like, furthermore, you will fight against your own self-interest
Totally.
just to win. Like I was fighting to not have good health. I was fighting to not be in optimum health. Like really, nope, not going to do it.
That is funny.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad. The other thing that I like is you said, yeah, she researched it because I don't personally like doing a lot of research, and I'm also not a dietitian. So it's just I drink it and then I see the benefits of it. Good enough for me. Moving on. Don't want to do any extra work. But when I advertise it to people, it's like, don't take my word for it. Go to drinkag1.com/surf, read about it, learn about it. If you're an expert, do your own research and then you decide.
Exactly. I was just happy to be confirmed. Like, could have come
Yeah.
out the other way. Could have come out where wife says, that is fake junk. You were drinking fake junk, but it sure ain't.
Well, as of yesterday, we got the green light to finally advertise that they have the new next gen formulation. So
Ooh,
it's basically just optimized even better than the previous stuff, but also has new flavors. So you got the citrus, you've got the berry, and you've got tropical options.
I never got I was waiting to come home to my flavored drinkag1.com/surf and it was not here.
A neighbor probably stole it.
Probably. We got
Got to check
wars
that
on
ring can.
we got wars on all sides now.
Oh, do you really
Yeah,
with the
battles on
neighbors?
all sides.
Save it for Noble Rot.
Great.
I really want to hear the stories.
Yeah.
So anyways, yeah, great to see AG1 not only partnering with Kelly and his sunblock brand last week, as I mentioned, but now um, World Surf League as well. And again, part of the reason for their success this year, no doubt.
Yep.
Also, Jay Martinez called last week about chop hops or wrote that email, I think,
Yes.
right on cue. If you watch the Padang Cup,
Are they chop hopping?
Chop Hoppin'. Chop
Love
Hoppin'
it.
has made a comeback. Like
Good.
that wave, I'm sure you've seen that as sick as the barrel is, it goes onto a flat section, so, like a deep water section, basically, and the wave goes flat so fast. So
Yes.
there's nowhere to really even do a turn. People come out of the barrel and they're on a flat wave, and it's like chop hop it up, baby.
Why not? Were there any shove-its?
I didn't see any.
Man,
I
make it.
would think there probably were though.
Let's hope.
Yeah. Chop Hop's back with a vengeance. And then I would also like to point out the Kickout is back in fine, fine form. And I have another number of examples.
Uh, okay. I wanted to discuss this too. You know the kick out I don't like?
What?
The one that's come back? The love Al Cleveland Jr., but his, like where you go real low and then up the face, and then you basically lay on your board halfway up, kind of, right?
Okay.
On that, I want a kick out. I want air under the board. I mean, that's
Was
the
is
classic.
his strategic to get back out faster? He's trying to project out into the lineup.
Sound seems like it. So it's a
Okay.
functional, but I want flair over function on my kickouts.
Okay. Well, I'm going to give you a couple of examples. I think it was all started with Gabriel Medina's Olympic salute, right?
Yep.
So
Number
that
one.
he kicks out, he's a statue in the middle of the air, claiming number one status. It goes viral, and I feel like that set into motion what would come next. Um, Last month's cover of Surfer magazine was Aaron Brooks doing what I would claim is a flyaway air, which we never used to publish. I mean, we
Nope.
used to publish on Surfer on covers, and then it got shamed. And then I feel like she brought it back, and I was like, this isn't allowed. And yet here it is.
Look at kickouts. Big.
So, and then we've got Al Cleland Jr.'s from yesterday. Let me try to find the footage. Did you see his with Strider?
No. Oh, when he ran into Strider?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I'll just play it for anybody who's watching on YouTube. Um, so Al Cleland needed this buzzer beater and actually got it, got an insane ride, claims so hard at the beach that he's not even looking at where he's going, and boom, runs into the
Right into Strider. Boom.
boat.
What did was Strider was well prepared? Did Strider hold a hand out there? And how did Strider avoid?
I think he just tipped over.
No, but
Like,
Strider knew it was. But look at Strider's position there. Strider knew it was coming, and he did some evasive action that was very subtle and small.
I think his only evasive action was to like not hold a footballer stance and like take the hit. He just tipped over with the momentum. But I think that he could have paddled out away or could have like moved out of position, but he figured at some point Al would look at where he's going. But Al didn't. He was just claiming so hard.
Well, that's the problem too with trying to think where other people are going to go. 9 times out of 10, especially if it's me, I will paddle right into where they like. If I would have stayed, everything would have been fine. But I paddled into their path.
I mean, Strider's like these guys are professionals. They know how to get around me. I'm stationary. I'm staying here.
I
I'll
got a
just
big
let
old
him.
microphone backpack on.
Didn't anticipate the brute personality of Al Cleland would force him to claim more than look where he's going.
Yeah, those that was a big claim. Worthwhile
Heavy
though.
claim.
Got the score.
Heavy claim. And then this one from the aforementioned Padang Cup. Check this one out. Did you see this kid's winning? This was after he won the event. Um, a victory lap. I think he's 16 years old. So he comes out of the barrel, kicks out straight into the commentary boat.
Oh, look at how sick that is.
Western Hurst. Again, I think he's 16
Wow.
years old. He wins the event, gets a victory lap after the buzzer, kicks out of the barrel, and sits on the boat. You could see him right there sitting with the commentator.
That is about as stylish as it gets right there.
How sick and smooth was that?
So sick and smooth.
Yeah, Western Hirsch. I'm going to play it again.
Where's he out of?
He's
Australia?
a local boy.
Oh, sweet.
Pretty
How's
sure he lives there. So yeah, comes out of the, kicks out, and then just hangs on,
Bink.
navigates, sits on the boat.
That is perfection.
From standing tall in the tube to sitting on the boat 10 feet away. Pretty epic stuff.
Love it.
So the kick out making a big
Back.
comeback this week,
Love it.
along with Chalk Hop.
Man, we're gonna really have to discuss what that does to surfing's core score.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm kind of for it.
I'm for it
Um,
too, except for Gabriel Medina's like, yeah, the kick out becoming synonymous with the coolest thing you can do in surfing, but it kind of is cool. Yeah, we'll discuss it later.
all right. Do you want to see some doppelganger submissions? We got 3 doppelganger submissions this week.
Yes. Doppelganger is taken over pros in the wild.
I don't think you're going to believe how amazing these are.
Okay.
Okay, dang it. I forgot. Okay, I'll just start with this one then. I don't have the one that I wanted to show you, but I'll start with this one. We have
Amazing.
Connor Coffin
Teen Wolf.
and Teen Wolf.
That is so good. Is that Michael J. Fox is Teen Wolf?
That is the Michael J. Fox Teen Wolf.
Okay, good. That is a perfect 10-10 right there.
Remarkable, right?
I mean, incredible. Absolutely
It's
incredible.
like shockingly similar. Um, so that came from a listener who also sent this next one. Were you a fan of Land of the Lost when you were a kid?
Not really. It'd come on, and I think I wanted to be a fan.
So here we have Exhibit B, Crosby Colapinto and a slee stack from Land of the Lost.
That is absolute perfection as well. This dear listener has a skill, has an art.
um, it's a deep cut. Like to even know like the side characters from Land of the Lost is kind of, and then being able to identify which pro surfer looks like them from your childhood favorite show is kind of remarkable.
Man, I'll tell you what, speaking of specifically, so for the listener at home, Crosby Colapinto is wearing a big, ugly pair of Oakleys. The sunglass game has gone, it's always been fairly poor in surfing. Never been, I guess it's always been poor and it continues to be poor. Like Leo's IC, whatever that IC thing, those things look like trash. I mean, unless you want to sponsor the show, even say it then. But those like I've never nobody
Cole
looks
Houshmans are the worst.
Cole Hashmans are the absolute worst. Everybody looks way worse in sunglasses than without. And how often is that true in life, right?
Never.
Usually somebody is whatever, put a pair of sunglasses on that suit their face and they're better, right? These guys look, and I know ugly sunglasses are like a thing, right? Kind of with blenders or whatever, like the big Jamie O'Brien oversized. But I feel that kitschy thing is already sailed. They just look awful. Every professional surfer looks awful in their sunglasses.
I totally agree with you. I've never really thought about it, but I've felt it
Yeah. They look like goofballs. Like, what are you guys doing? How can you
totally.
look worse in sunglasses?
No sense of style whatsoever.
Yeah, real shocking.
Okay, and now here's the most kind of remarkable one that we hadn't identified until now. Rick
Oh,
Kane
wow.
and
Yep,
Matthew McGillivray.
that is really good. This one is good, great. Uh, yeah. I mean, what are you gonna
Rick
say?
Rick Kane and Matthew McGillivray are the same person.
Yeah. Who knew?
And I looked at, so this is a kind of a more contemporary photo of Rick Kane, but I looked at photos of him from the film, like screen grabs from the film, where he's like Matt McGillivray's age currently, and they're like they could be twin
Identical.
brothers. They could be twin brothers.
Well, like if you were had a doppelganger like that, oh, I guess we've talked about this though, how you can age out of your doppelganger.
Yeah.
But it would be nice for Matthew McGillivray to look over at Rick Kane and think, it's great. It's comforting to know that that's how I'm going to look.
I think yeah, they're handsome guys.
Sure.
Embrace it.
Yeah.
So we will continue our work to find out what other celebrity or quasi celebrities look like pro surfers. So stick around for that next week.
Do you have a
Uh,
folder of all of these doppelgangers being built?
no, I should.
Yeah, they're good.
I really should. Thank you, listeners, though, for the submissions. Um, let me see what else we've got. So I'm going to let you decide. Do you want to hear a pros in the wild or a Veyer tools to live by?
Let's start with the pros in the wild and then move to the tool.
All right. Going long today.
Yeah.
All right. This one's been sitting open on my computer for like 3 weeks, so it's about time we play it. Oops.
So I thought I'd tell this highly embarrassing DLS and Chaz. I heard your request for some more pros in the wild, so I thought I'd tell this highly embarrassing story of me going to visit a friend up the coast midweek, which just happened to coincide with a pretty solid swell. Going through the car park, I saw it was probably a bit too hectic for me to do what I do on the stand up. So, got the boog out, and lo and behold, one of the all time locals from this area, Craig Anderson, was in the car park, just kind of talking to a photographer friend. I thought, oh, that's cool to see, like, the Steez Lord in his local habitat, but paddled out on the bodyboard to this kind of couple different patches of slabby reef and started getting a few. And then lo and behold, as I'm thinking about going in, Craig Anderson and his photographer mate paddle out. I'm assuming they're going to come to our patch of reef because it looked kind of the better of the three options out there. But he continues to paddle over to this like completely skits, slabbing left right in front of all these rocks. And I thought I'd just sit on that patch of reef and kind of like watch the man do his thing. First wave was one of the more beautiful things I've ever seen in the water. He backdoors it, stand tall, like just gloriously clean, crystal clear water, and gets blown out of the thing. Of course, like an idiotic moth to a flame, I paddled over there and I was getting one or two because Ando was doing his usual thing of just waiting like an hour for like the one mega one, and was being a complete gentleman that even though I was invading their like empty, beautiful space, was chatting and just being like a kind and considerate bloke that he is, not getting too upset that I was probably like ruining all these clips that would have been empty. Even though Ando and his photographer weren't dealing any karmic blows to my pride, nature ended up doing so because just as I was thinking about finally going in, I got absolutely rolled, dragged across those rocks on the inside, torn apart, so much so that the new Weddy I just bought like a week earlier was completely unsalvageable. Leash snapped, boo gone. I eventually get back to the beach, bleeding, flaps in my weddy, just feeling very sheepish on the sand, looking out to see if I can find my freshly lost bodyboard. And yeah, to put some salt in the wounds, I see Ando paddling in with the bodyboard. Not only did he not get angry at me for blowing into his empty epic session, he then salvaged my bodyboard. It was one of the more humbling and embarrassing moments I have ever experienced, him passing me back the bodyboard whilst I'm bleeding in the shore. But yeah, that's my pro in the wild. Don't blow into Steez Lord's empty sessions is the moral, I guess.
There you go.
Epic story, Craig. Thank you so much. I mean, I'm sorry, not Craig. What was our listener?
I didn't catch his name.
Maybe he doesn't want to be identified by name, being a booger, but out there. But fine story, and thank you so much for sharing. Even though you felt embarrassed, I feel that's not embarrassing. You were over there giving it a go. It's getting slammed on the reef or the rocks. And yeah, Craig Anderson is a genuine good dude. Have you spent any time with Craig Anderson?
Zero.
Yeah, he is. I drove where? Like from Western Australia. What did we do? No, we went from Newcastle down, well, whatever. I don't know. I spent like 5 days with him or 6 days or something, like long time, just hanging out with Craig Ando.
At the peak of his kind of earnings.
It's when he was at Quicksilver. I think it was right before they offered him his big check where he told them to kick rocks.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've always loved him as a surfer, and I do love that mild-mannered, tempered personality, style. But I loved hearing this real take on him. It's also reminds me that like how much different those guys are, how much more talented those surfers are, where you're out in the lineup and you think this is the surf spot, and there's waves that are breaking over there, but you don't even look at them because they're not surfable.
Yep.
And Craig paddles straight out there and then just starts getting drained. And you're like, oh, maybe that is a surf spot. Maybe I can go over. And in this scenario, it's a boogie boarder. He should be able to take off on slabs that Craig couldn't take off on. But no, Even the boogie boarder can't make it, and Craig's backdooring peaks.
I mean, the difference between a professional surfer and us is it's a different species. Like I've seen it enough with my own two eyeballs. They breathe different air. They operate, they're like in a whole different plane of being. They're not me.
Entirely.
Yeah.
And is so comfortable out there that he'll also retrieve your board for you and bring it to the beach for you
Yep.
because you just got wrecked.
Yep. Craig,
So
true gentleman. Craig Anderson
amazing.
is really, he's well raised. Craig's whole family is amazing. Like they're just solid, good to the core people.
Love to hear it.
Yep.
And I love the versatility of our caller too. He's like, I was gonna SUP, but it was too heavy for me, so I just grabbed the boogie board instead. I'm like, you show up with both an SUP and a boogie board, which means you probably have a bunch of things in between as well.
Waterman. Our caller was being too humble. He was a true waterman.
Versatile.
Yep.
Let's do a Veyor tools to live by if you've got time.
I got all the time in the world.
Okay, because I have a few that I've prioritized, and this one I've been wanting to get to for a couple of weeks.
Good. Are we gonna help somebody?
We're gonna help everybody with this one.
Good. Okay.
This is
Good.
like far ranging, very relatable.
Universal help.
Exactly. So we owe a thanks, of course, to our watch sponsor, Veyor.
Finest watches
VAER.
out there.
Really, really cool stuff. And they're advertising a model now on Instagram that I'm like, I think I need another one.
Oh, sweet. What are they? What is it? What is this new Veyor?
I don't know. I don't know the names. The names are technical, it's like numbers and
Do
letters.
can folk get money off? I forget with
Yeah,
a
15%.
Veyor. Oh, yeah, 15%.
So it's G5 Pacific Steel, 39 millimeter GMT, whatever that
Nice.
means. But it's an
When it should
automatic.
mean time.
Yeah. So we'll save you 15%. Go to veyorwatches.com/surf splendor.
Oh, it's automatic. It's not solar.
That one's automatic.
Fine.
So anyways, DLS and Chaz, I think I need some advice. First, the context, then the discovery, then finally, the conundrum. I run a small office building and am the one responsible for providing basic supplies, hand soap, paper towels, TP, you get the picture. I'm always the only one who puts the 5-gallon water bottle back on the crock. Basically, I'm the janitor and maintenance man as well as the landlord. The discovery I made is this. I'm the only one who puts a new roll of toilet paper in the toilet paper holder. Does this seem right? Here's the thing. Being a guy, I never need the paper at the office. I do my number twos at home. But I get it that the ladies like the paper and I try to keep it stocked. I keep a limitless supply in there right on a shelf eye level when seated in front of their faces. Okay, not limitless, but half a dozen rolls or so, but sufficient for your worst imaginable bathroom scenario. How is it that no one has ever put a new roll on the holder? I've even purposely not replaced it for a while just to see how long it would string out. Remember that Seinfeld episode where they pushed Jerry's Saab to the very limit of its gas tank, drove it dry? These ladies drove the car dry, then walked away from it. No new roll on the holder. Discovery part 2. I don't think anyone has ever replaced a roll on a holder anywhere in the world outside of their home, unless it's their professional obligation. Have you? It's a great question because I have not. Have either of you ever replaced a roll of anything on a roll holder that wasn't your own? I bet you haven't. So I tested the theory. Trader Joe's has these little fakakta produce bags. They are weird green color and impossible to open. They are the ones that you throw apples in. If you have a spare 3 minutes, you would to open the weird fleshy thing. Guess what? Those all come on little rolls. The rolls go in little roll holders and they go in a certain way. And they have tons of them stored in little boxes at thigh level under the produce shelves. Holy crap, it's the same thing. No one replaces them when they become empty, not even the employees, to be honest. So and I relate to this. You go into the produce store and often half of those rolls are empty.
Yeah.
So he goes on to say, so I started replacing them. Whenever I saw an empty one, pretty much every time, right there in the store in front of God and everyone, I'd do the employee's job, a brazen act of civic altruism. I'd get strange looks like, what the F? You can't just do that. Those kind of looks. Guess what? You can do that. I can fill the empty rolls of those god awful produce bags. You can even put them in with proper orientation so that they tear off at the little pokey uppy doinky thing, how they're supposed to. And you get one bag at a time when you do it right. I'm greeted as a hero now in that store. They frequently open new check stands for me. I feel like Norm from Cheers when I enter the store. Have I ever, I'm sorry, have I started a new way of being that we all can learn from? Or will I remain some lone weirdo that can and will replace a role of something outside my own home, like some sort of heretic? Can I continue this or let it go? Work. Weird lone weirdo in SB.
Love it so much. And it's very, 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 I guess, timely or funny. Uh, I had the same internal thought a few months ago in my own home. I would
Me
never
too.
replace them in my own home, right? I would leave it sitting on top of the, like, we have detached toilet paper holders, right?
They're
So
like
it's a,
stands,
yeah, it's a
basically.
stand. So
Yeah.
I would just like put it on top of the thing. One day, a couple months ago, I caught myself doing it and said, how lazy are you? What a lazy jerk. Just put it on. And so I really made a conscious decision not to be a lazy jerk and put it on, did it, and thought, there, that was a 15-second effort. And look at me, I'm not a lazy jerk anymore. And so then I also did it at the ballet studio. There's not a lot of dudes there, right? So the men's bathroom that will run out. And so I thought, who's going to do this? I'm a man. I'm in the men's bathroom. Boop, put it on. So like the loner weirdo, I too, but I want to push it further like him. I love this. If we all did this, the world might work better.
I'm all for
Peace.
it. I
Peace
love
in our
him
time.
being, yes, I love him being the spearhead on this because I was not engaged enough
Yeah.
to like fully realize it. But I cannot tell you, I basically go to the grocery store once a day, most days, get what I need for that day. And so I'm in the produce section daily. Half of those things are out every single time that I'm there.
Question for you. What do you use those for?
Great question. I don't use them if I don't have to.
Like I've stopped using those. I can't remember the last time I put any produce in a produce bag. I suppose I'll put a really wet head of lettuce or something in one.
Correct. So I
But
was there. I was there this morning. I got 3 lemons, did not put them in a bag. I got one jalapeno, did not go in a bag. And then I got Italian parsley or flat leaf parsley,
in a
which
bag.
is, yes, that needs to go in a bag.
Yeah, okay, with you there. But I think we should all let's knock those things out. Those things won't be empty and won't need to be replaced if we only use them for leafy herbs and or super wet lettuces.
Yeah. If you have, 3 lemons, they're not going to roll around in the shopping cart. Like they'll stay in position. Once I get to the checkout, they put them in my bag. Fine. They're bagged
Apples
for the
don't need
drive home.
them.
No,
Apples don't need them. Nothing needs them except for herbs and lettuces.
exactly. But I'm tired of having them empty. I have to walk an extra few feet every single time because one of them is empty. So now we're just going to be replacing them.
I love it.
Now, I don't understand why you would never replace the toilet paper roll at home. Why would you go through the effort of putting it there, but not on the,
That's what I'm saying.
what
Abject
were, I mean, what
laziness.
in hindsight, what was your thinking?
Laziness.
That's it.
It's so like when I thought about it, it was unconscious laziness, right? It was
Okay.
like a sort, and when I was forced to examine it, then I thought, you are just a lazy man. And if I could fix this, then, it was first awareness. Like it's a lack of self-awareness initially because I wasn't actually thinking about what I was doing. I was just doing it. And being unconscious like that is lame, right? Like we should all strive, I think, to be more conscious daily of what we're actually doing, to be more mindful, to use a, trendy word,
Griffin
but
Colapinto.
exactly to sound like the Griff. But I just thought, yeah, I was just being, yeah, unconsciously lazy.
Okay. I like the altruistic element of this. Like, lone weirdo is going to do it for everybody else. However, I can't not acknowledge that there's a little element of like lording power over everybody else too.
Of
Because, like you
course.
said, he goes into the store and he's now Norm from Cheers. He's the
Yep.
local hero. Because those who do notice, they're like, wow, you did not have to do it and you did it. And that makes you special.
I mean, so I think this one is either or in terms of in the Bible talks about how if you go do good stuff and try to get praise for it, then you get your praise on earth. You're not getting it in heaven, right? So I feel he's making a choice here to get his praise on earth for his altruistic acts. It's what I would do too. I don't need this praise in heaven, right? So like I don't need to go to heaven and have the Lord say, "Good job with filling those roles." I want my praise for that here and now.
I do too. And I will give you an example of how it operates in my home where I do this intentionally. Uh, Lauren and I both equally put the toilet roll back. Like we will replenish that if we're the one who finishes it. No
Did we? I
problems
mean,
there.
we don't even need to have the which side, like, is it which side it unspools on, right? Is it over or under?
I think all that matters is whether you agree with your spouse on that one.
Oh, really? Is there even debate? I thought it was proper universal is under.
I think proper universal is over.
What?
Yeah.
No,
Under.
absolutely
Why would
not.
it be under?
Under. It looks more stately.
Okay, I'm going to need to explain. Okay, so here's the roll of toilet paper.
Yes.
For me, it's like hanging like that.
Flip that around.
No way.
Yeah, like that.
You're crazy.
That's how it goes.
Okay, well, as
We're
long
gonna
as you and Cersei agree.
I mean, I'm the only one who does it. So
S-
it's just me who agrees.
o- Okay, so
Wait,
the
though.
thing that the other adjacent thing in our house is Lauren will never replace a trash bag.
Okay. She'll just what will she do with it?
So, she does a ton of like housekeeping stuff, including she'll take out the trash. It's not like we have designated roles on things
Yeah,
or designated responsibilities. Um, but she will take the trash out of the kitchen, outside, put it in the bin, come back in, and never replace the trash bag liner in the kitchen.
that's real
So,
frustrating.
so inevitably, I'll be walking by 5 minutes later with like in motion. Like you're in motion when you're throwing something in there already. So you end up throwing it into the bin without the liner in there. And it'll be
Yeah,
something wet or slippery. And it's like I go and I step on it. The lid comes up and I'm already throwing it in when I realize there's no bag. And I'm like, dang it. Now I got to clean out the trash can. Um, and I've learned it's because of the same reason you don't do the toilet paper thing. It's not intentional. She's like actually pretty fastidious about a lot of things. So if she was thinking about it, she would go ahead and do it. It's just for whatever reason, once she leaves the kitchen with the trash bag, she doesn't think about it anymore. That job is checked. But what I've learned is I'm never going to shame her about it or like get into some bickering match and be like, hey, can you please do this? What I do is I wait until she's in the kitchen and then I replace it in front of her.
that's a solid passive aggressive shame right there.
That's my move.
Yeah,
Because for a while, I would just replace it when she's not in the room and just like grumble to myself and be like,
yeah,
God, why does she never do this? This is so stupid. Like, what is she thinking, And then I was like, well, if I complain to her about it, it's just going to sound like me nagging because she did a
yeah.
good thing by taking out the trash, or I
Yep.
appreciated that. So why would I then choose something to complain about? Power move, don't say a word, wait till she's over nearby and just do it in front of her quietly.
Has she noticed? Has she taken notice of you doing it? Has she thanked you? Are you Cheers? Are you Norm from Cheers in your own home now?
A little bit. What
Yeah,
she did, there was no thanks, but there was oh, sorry, I always forget to do that. I'm like,
an acknowledgement.
and I was like, no problem. I don't mind.
Yeah, great,
Deep down, that was the only validation I needed.
great. I,
So,
I wonder now, has she done it? That she's been made aware now.
yeah, so the thing is, it comes back to bite her in the butt too, because I did see a couple of days ago, I didn't realize that she had left it undone, but she did leave it undone. And then 5 minutes later came back and threw something, popped the lid, threw something in real quickly and was like, dang it. and then
Yeah.
had to
Okay.
scrape that out, clean it, and then put a bag in.
Okay.
So it's now
Good.
biting her in the butt too.
Good.
Yeah.
While you were telling that story, I did a quick search.
Okay.
The over is the correct way and approved of by more than 70% of people, more than
My way,
70%
meaning
of your way.
I like
I'm,
it.
wow, it's been wrong. So I'm not changing. That's going to be my little signature.
You can be lone weirdo in SD.
Yep.
All right. Well, like I said, hopefully, I mean, we didn't do the work with this one. It was Lone
No,
Weirdo who did the work, but we appreciate it.
absolutely. And we should all take Lone Weirdo's gospel and go practice it out in the fruitful fields ourselves.
Send the message far and wide. Shout it from the mountaintops.
And figure out I'd like some more. My imagination doesn't work the way it used to. I would like to know other things that we could replace. I would like caller or listeners to call in and give a list, because I don't want it just to stop. Now that we're going to be replacing stuff, I want to replace more than just the bags at the grocery store. I want what else is out there we can replace?
Well, Austin's breakfast sausages were not on the shelf. I'm wondering, I should just kick down the door to the supply room or
Yeah.
the back area at the grocery store and go see what they got. It's probably back there. I don't want to bother anybody with this. Let me go
Sure.
find it.
Let's self-empowerment here.
I like it.
Yeah.
Take some initiative, people.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to commercial break and we'll be back with core score, barrel or non, maybe one or two other things. All right, Chaz, welcome back.
Here we are. Are you double screening and watching Chopu at all?
I am, are you?
No. Are the girls out?
So heat one of the girls opening round, it's Aaron Brooks holding the lead with a 5 and a 5, Isabella Nichols with a 1 and a 0.7, and then Betty Lou Sakura Johnson with a 1 and a 0.3.
Okay, exciting.
It's not exciting. And
Ooh.
this is really the question is they didn't run the women yesterday, and now they put them out today in conditions that are half of what they were yesterday.
Yeah.
So where do we go from here?
I mean, what I heard tell too, the thing is that there's more swell coming next week, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there
So
is more swell on the way, but
theoretically they could have picked a better day for the women's.
well, or just equal yesterday.
Yeah.
Run men opening round, run women opening round. What's
Yeah.
behind the decision to run men opening and elimination?
That's true. Good point. And
If the-
especially not that it's a good point.
The traditional decision, to be completely frank, it was let the men have the meatier bone
Yeah.
and give the women the scraps.
Yep.
And it feels like that's the decision here today as well. They were like, we have perfect conditions yesterday, or like a really sizable swell with lots of opportunities. And the men have consequential kind of, this is a very consequential round and event. So let's give them all the opportunities. That's what it felt
And
like.
let's also be honest, like this feels retrograde. It feels
It
like they
does.
had been doing like pushing the women out or having them run in meteor days and with response, right? With epic performances, more and more. Like I'm sure we would have got epic performances yesterday from the women out there.
Yeah, if their theory is the women aren't going to, where there's going to be barrels that go unridden and the women won't be going on it, I would have them look at Filipe Toledo's heat and Kanoe Garashi's heat
Yes.
and answer that question for me. It's a bummer, actually, to see what's going on right now. Follow up from last week. Thank you, the great many DMers. We discovered that Tap and Taps are two different films.
Yes. Thank you so much. I had no idea. I knew that both of those films existed, but somehow they'd become one in my mind. And I knew that, and the Tom Cruise one, I suppose, Taps, just eclipsed Tap.
It did, totally. Yeah, the Gregory Hines thing was like a much, much smaller film.
Yeah.
So, and I misspoke too, because I said, there's a film about tap dancing with Gregory Hines. I think it's called Taps. So I said the wrong film title. And then you said Taps is a military film. And I was like, oh, is it? Oh, maybe I'm mistaken. Well, it turns out the Gregory Hines film is called Tap.
Yep. But I love that so many listeners knew that, are fans of Gregory Hines and tap dancing. and set the record straight.
Okay. Core score starting this week at 54. We have to factor in the Chopu event. Chopu went Richter.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Chopu going Richter, and the way most people sent it gleefully, I'm gonna say core score up 3 on that.
I think 3 is fair. It's definitely up because it shows the bravado of surfing, man versus nature kind of a thing to the greater world. And I
Yep.
really did feel while I was watching it yesterday, I go, this is compelling watching, even if you're not into surfing.
No, you get it. You could understand that.
Like I was watching, I want to say it might have been Joao Chianca get flogged and like come up dazed, shake it off. He's in the whitewash and have to like get on his board, paddle back out as another one steaming towards him.
Yep.
It's like, this is compelling. And then when the commentator's talking about his injury that he's overcoming and all this stuff, it's like,
That's
wow,
compelling
must see
watching.
TV. Yeah.
I mean, those surfers too. I don't remember, and maybe I'm just have a fuzzy memory, but I don't remember that many wipeouts uh during a Chopu event, which makes me think everyone was pushing it way harder. Everybody was
That's
going
possible.
deeper, sending it further.
I was recording a podcast while the event was on with Nathan Hedge,
Nice.
who's a charger out there. And he spoke to that a little bit. He was saying, well, we were specifically discussing the 2022 heat that he had against Jack Robinson. Because I don't know if you remember, but he had been retired. He got a wild card through Outer Known to come in and surf that event. He's 43 years old. And
Was that when he surfed circles around Philippe out there when he and Kelly?
yes,
Yeah. Okay. Remember.
so they smashed Felipe in the first, non-elimination round. He ended up in the round of 16 against a very informed Jack Robinson. And Jack Robinson had big scores. And Nathan Hedge was comboed with 9 minutes left. And this one comes that was like a crazy one, but there was like whitewash from the previous wave as well. So like not a clean line into it. And he free fall dropped, barely sneaks under the guillotine. As he said, if he had even one hair on his head, he would have got guillotined. But he just like sneaks under it and like makes this unbelievable ride and gets like a 9. It wasn't a 10, it was like a 9.83. And then as he's paddling back out, boom, gets another 9-point ride. All of a sudden, he's got Jack on the ropes and he wins the
Epic.
heat. Yeah. Wins the heat, ended up finishing in the quarterfinals. But my point is he was saying he would not have gone on that wave in a free surf. It
Yeah.
was it was because of Jack Robinson has him comboed. Jack was actually chasing him like up the reef, like he put him in that position. So he said that when there are waves of consequence, that's where you see progression happening on the world tour. Whereas when you're just surfing Huntington or Newcastle or something like that, of course, there's better surfing happening around the world in free surfs at that time. But what's not happening in those free surfs is this element of kind of pushing each other to the limits.
I love that. Good
Me too.
insight.
Yeah, really great insights. So we're up 3 to 57. I think it's worth noting, in addition to Chopa going Richter, it also outed one of our 2-time world champs as being kind of inadequate. So does that affect surfing score?
Nope. Because I think that is already baked in. We already know that,
Okay.
right? I think it would have affected the core score if Felipe would have charged. It could have bumped the core score up.
Okay. Chop hops and kickouts making a comeback.
I'm gonna go chop hops 1 up, but I'm gonna go kickouts 1 down.
Really?
Unfortunately, yeah, I love the kickout, and I would say the kickout goes up too, except for the fact that, and I love that photo of Gabriel Medina, #1, all that, but that thing going so viral, making kickout synonymous with cool surfing to the general public, I just think that's not a good reflection.
I'm not going to pull rank on you, but I'm going to try to convince you.
Okay.
When have you had more fun than doing a wild kickout?
That's what I'm saying, though. That's exactly what I'm saying. They're super fun to do, but everyone can do them. Anyone could do an epic kickout, right? Like anybody who can stand on a surfboard, if you point up and you get it right and you get that launch into the air, then you're in the air.
Fun.
What?
So fun.
It's the most fun. But is it core? Because if anyone can do it, is it core?
I think what's core about it is it's a childhood a childlike glee that you feel as a 40-something-year-old male.
Okay, I'll bend on that. I will bend on that it is goofy fun and celebrating goofy fun is part of surfing.
There's just something about going fast, being in the air. It's just like it's fun.
How
And the fact that that kid did that one at Padang where he sat on the boat was really cool.
that
And the
was
fact that
epic.
Al Cleland was claiming so hard he didn't even realize he was going to run into the commentator, also a fun moment.
Okay, I'll say then one up.
Okay, I feel good
Chop
about
up,
it.
chop ups and airs together. I mean, and flyaways.
Okay. Another story that we didn't discuss yet, but I don't know if you tracked this. Sydney local non-professional surfer Tom Myer got an insane barrel at a crazy bomby out at Manly in Sydney, like a wave that doesn't break unless it's this massive swell. And it's almost a complete replica of the wave that he got 6 months ago that we did discuss.
Wow, I'm gonna go core score up for sure on that.
This is a moment where a non-professional surfer, I think he's a plumber by trade, if I'm not mistaken, got the best wave of the week on the internet other than this Chopu contest.
Love it.
I know. Core
Those
score
like
way up. And then what's crazy about it is you look at it with the wave that he got 6 months ago that also broke the internet, and you're like, thing's a replica. It's almost like it was almost a carbon copy.
man, like workaday folk out there hunting epic surf is definitely core score up.
Completely. And when you, again, if the Chopu event wasn't running, this would have been the clip of the week for sure.
Glad
So
glad that it gets to I need to see it.
I'll send it to you.
Okay.
I think Surfline did a side by side of the two waves because when I watched this week's clip, I was like, oh, they're running the old 6 month old footage. But the swell, it was a swell story. It was like, oh, crazy swell in Sydney right now. And I'm like, that's weird. They just like
Yeah.
recycling news. And then Kelly Slater had a comment on there and he said, wow, that looks almost exactly like the other one that he got. And I'm like, oh my God, he's having the same thought I did. And then eventually Surfline the next day or two posted them side by side. And we talked about that wave from Tom Myer, or I commented on it on Instagram and he said, haha, keep work.
Oh, sweet. Tom
So he
Myer,
identified himself as a listener.
legend.
Legend. So where do we go from here? Score, how many up?
I'm gonna say two.
Okay, two up. All right, that takes us to 61.
Good job. Wow, we broke the 60.
Uh, Deservedly so. It's been an epic week in surfing.
Yeah, it's true.
So 62. Let me confirm that. Okay. Barrel or nah? Ironic mullets.
No barrel. Where did you see one?
I hate to out him.
Is it someone on the professional surfing tour?
No, no.
Is it a
Professional shaper.
okay?
It looked good on him. You know what I mean? Like I saw the photo and I'm like, he's rocking it.
Is he doing it ironically?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, yeah, no. Like the time to stop doing irony as an adult is, I think you can do irony through high school because you're not mature. I'm gonna even say you can go irony through college. You can go irony until you're a junior in college.
Even though you can, you're that guy in
Yeah,
college. That becomes like your
absolutely.
thing.
Yeah, exactly. You are ironic, dude. You
Yeah.
are, yeah, that you got to nip that stuff in the bud quick. The sooner you can lose irony, if you like to do something, do it. If you don't like it, don't do it. And don't use irony as a smoke and mirrors of something you like to do. Like you see a lot of people will grow quote unquote an ironic mustache, right? But really probably they want to have a mustache, but they don't know how to roll a mustache out. It's too obvious and awkward. And so then they play the haha, isn't this funny kind of thing.
For
Don't
two
do that.
years.
Yeah, just roll it if you want to. Don't if you don't. There's no need to do anything ironically.
Well, I agree with you. No barrel on that. The second one came up about 2 years ago, but not in a barrel or not. We just had it as a general news discussion point. But Blake Johnson uh, just set a new Guinness World Record. He surfed the most waves, spent the most time surfing in 1 month, 25 out of 31 days in July, surfing 10 hours a day, and ultimately rode 4 1,097 waves for a total surfing time of 17 and a half hours. So record for the most hours surfed within a month goes to Blake Johnson, which leads us to question, is setting Guinness records barrel or not?
It's a no barrel. I used to think as a kid I wanted to. I would read the Guinness book at the school library and think I got one of these, no problem, right? Like what? Bouncing a ping pong ball on a paddle. I can do it's just a matter of doing it. Then you realize, well, hold on here. Hold on just a second. Now that I'm thinking about it, the childhood joys of reading the Guinness Book of World Records,
Oh,
right?
does the value of the book and those who read it outweigh dedicating those lives to it?
Precisely, because I will say setting any record in air quotes, unless it is universally considered cool or acceptable, right? Like climbing the highest mountain or running the fastest mile or swimming to Cuba or whatever, right? These are all things that have been established as feats of human strength. Surfing the most times, the most hours obnoxiously in a month, that's just an obnoxious thing to do. It's
At
an
the expense
obnoxious
of your wife and kids, basically.
at the expense of everyone in the lineup that you're doing this thing, but on the one hand, on the other hand, kid in the library reading about it, but does that just encourage that kid like it
So
encouraged me to go do more dumb stuff?
let me help you figure this one out. You can't go back in time to make your decision. That Guinness book from our childhood, first of all, there's no kids going to the library now, and then
Yeah,
when they get there, they're not reading the Guinness book.
that's true.
So that is a thing of yesteryear. And when we did it, those records were impressive records. The problem is because there was a limited number of pages to be printed and there was enough interesting things happening in the world that they were worth documenting. Who's the fastest runner? Who can climb the highest mountain? Who can grow their fingernails the longest?
Yeah.
Who are the fattest men to ride mini bikes? um, but the problem is now that it's all on the internet, they're like, we don't have just 92 pages to fill. We need more clicks. And so they've opened the aperture to be like, who can smash the most aluminum cans in an hour?
Yep.
Who can lay still for the longest period of time?
You're
It's like,
right.
it's so stupid now. It's lost all of its um, credibility,
You're exactly right. I think
importance.
we reached the point uh who could be the fattest twins to ever ride motorbikes, getting that record was peak Guinness. After that, any record that somebody thought up, how many times you can do, cat's cradle on your yo-yo, all that kind of is just junk. It's junk that doesn't need to be done. We needed to see those fat twins riding those mini bikes. I don't need to see somebody doing cat's cradle for 73 hours.
They lost all credibility. That's the other thing is Guinness Book used to be like, wow,
Yeah.
that means you're the world champ at something.
Yep.
And once, and the other thing is those fat twins, they were already going to be the fattest twins in the world. Guinness just came and signified it, but they weren't eating to become the fattest twins in the world.
No.
That was
I
like,
mean, but was it specifically they're the fattest twins in the world to ride motorbikes?
we read the same issue.
Absolutely.
I remember those two guys.
That one was in every one of them.
They
That thing
maintained
was
that
like the
record to the
best.
day they died.
Yeah. But okay, you're right. Guinness blew it. So setting a Guinness record is no barrel.
So now it's all just like, now it's
Junk.
just novelty.
Yeah. It
And
wasn't novelty.
it's just a joke now.
It's totally true.
Yeah.
Longest hair in the world was serious. This is dumb.
The other thing is, final thought is it took a real, like, you had to be the world's best hiker to hike the highest mountain or whatever
Yeah.
it was. And that was like your life. This guy dedicating his life to surfing in a pool for some interim, just like a portion of his life. It's not, um, it's not core, like it's not your true passion. You know what I mean? Like it just feels like you're just trying to win the record at this point.
I wonder if he felt totally unfulfilled after he was done. If he
I should
like said,
hope.
that was an absolute waste of time.
Yeah, I should hope. Or if you also aren't into doing cat's cradle on the yo-yo, but you figure out that that record's available. And if you
Yeah,
dedicate the next 6 months to it, you can
you
win
got
that
it.
record. That again just feels phony to me.
Yep.
It's a
Big
phony element.
asterisks.
Yeah.
Yeah. No barrel.
Okay, no barrel on setting Guinness World Records. Final record or final barrel or not comes from a call. It's one that's come up in the past, but is now in vogue yet again.
Hello, David and Chaz. It's Kevin, formerly from Ventura. With a barrel or not, there's been a very recent resurgence of a claim, no claim from surfers that was happening in like the 80s and 90s, but coming off the U.S. Open, you'll see people do a turn on the shore break. It could be 1 or 2 foot wave. They land and they squat down. They wait for the white water to bounce around them, put their hands next to their head, and they pop up like it's a big surprise. Definitely overjuicing it. You'll see the likes of Jack Robo, Colapinto, Griffin Colapinto, a lot of the Brazilian crew, just trying to make things look more dramatic. Sometimes it is when they fall off an 8-foot Margaret River end section, but most of the time it's just these little doinky turns that they're doing and trying to pop up and make shit look really cool. So barreling off, popping out of the white water, trying to make it look like you're doing something rad when you're probably not. Keep work.
So juicing the claim for a score is kind of what this comes down to.
Absolutely no barrel. And if the World Surf League was good and right and just, they would deduct points for claiming anything for a score, right? Like Al Cleland Jr. getting spat out of that tube into Spider and being so excited. Of course, that is the natural human thing to do. If you're trying to be too cool and not even do that, I don't like that either. Like, give me a claim, give me a boisterous feeling of elation that I can see, but don't do it to juice the score.
I totally agree. And to your point about the judges, I think I have lowered scores in my mind when I do see people doing it egregiously. Specifically, when I was watching the Huntington event and I would see somebody who needed a 5 surf a wave to about a 5 and then claim hard to try to like elicit emotion from the viewer. I was like, I'm no idiot. You can't
Yeah,
trick me. Like, I watched your surfing. That's enough. You don't need to try to dupe me now. No score for you.
exactly. The judges should do that. Judges, especially unless it's a act, because also they're trying to dupe the judges, right? You're saying, judges, you were
Exactly.
so dumb that if I show you that I thought this was a good ride, that you will also think it was a good ride.
And one further, if this gets the crowd on the beach jazzed up, you'll then be influenced by the crowd's response to my surfing and think that it's better than it is.
Absolute no barrel.
We're not dumb.
We're not dumb. Don't treat us. Don't treat us that way.
And I also agree with you. The Nathan Hedge wave that I was talking about earlier, he came out of that and just mongrel screamed.
Of course.
Because what he just experienced could not be contained.
Yes.
Through his emotion could not be contained. So that's the only logical response. So let's hold that in reverence as a pinnacle of surfing of like, wow, you're lucky. I'll never get there because I'll never
Yep.
have the bravado and the skill to do what you just did. That's amazing. Let's hold this in reverence. Whatever you're doing over here in Huntington Beach, how dare you try
Yeah.
to equate with that? That's
Yep.
offensive.
Exactly. No barrel, and should be judges. If any World Surf League judges are listening right now, deduct. Just do it quietly. Just do it. You don't have to do it obvious. Just say, oh, I was going to give him a 5.4. Now he's getting a 5.2.
Agreed. Don't
Yep.
ever let anybody know,
Yeah.
but
Just quietly do it.
you did the right thing.
Yep.
By the way, I'd like to point out that the word doinky was used twice today
Wow. Twice in 2 different contexts.
from 2 different
Amazing.
people,
Amazing.
presumably.
Yeah.
So he just said a doinky move, and then you claim it. And the lone weirdo said
The doinky on the
the little pokey upper doinker things.
make doink great again.
It's really a solid word.
It is
Yeah.
underutilized.
I'm going to use it tonight.
Yeah, good.
Work it into conversation. All right. Great show. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So we'll see you on Monday. If anybody's not listening to Noble Rot, look, we see the stats. 1/5 of you, no, 4/5 of you aren't listening to Noble Rot.
Yep.
Go.
Come on over.
4/5 of you, go to Noble Rot. Have some fun. It's not even about surfing.
Got a good show this weekend.
Sweet. Can't wait.
Or this week, this Monday. Come on.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Monday on Noble Rot, and then also Extra Fine Grid on Patreon on Monday too. Go get that as well.
A lot of extra.
All right. Until then.
Keep working.